Hey, Vinyl community, contest announcement. 3,000 subscribers? Thank you so much, seriously.
Love is but the song we sing, and fear is the way we die.
Now you know the Youngbloods version of this. I mean, it's an anthem of a generation.
You can make the mountains rain, or make the angels cry.
This is a folk version, the original version, written by Dino Valenti.
Oh, love is on the wing, and you need not know why.
It's him singing. You might know him later from
Well, people now
Quicksilver.
get together,
Have another hit
sound
of Fresh Air.
trying to love one another right now.
But seriously, folks, Mazzy here. I'm just about to hit 3,000 subscribers in the next few weeks. And frankly, I'm gobsmacked. It's been about 2 years. And I've really appreciated all the response to the videos, and I've met so many amazing friends in the vinyl community here, and it's been a fun ride. Those of you who are regulars know that I tend to be a little snarky, but seriously, I'm very, very appreciative. So the contest, I'm doing a 3,000 subscriber contest, because that's what you do in the vinyl community, and I haven't done one, I think, since 500. 500 miles. The theme is San Francisco, because those of you who watch my videos frequently know that I am a native third-generation San Franciscan. I love San Francisco. 6 years ago, I packed up, moved out from a life in San Francisco, and I moved to Seattle in the great Northwest, where I am now. There's so much I could say about that city, and I've been thinking about a series of shorter videos down the line, which you'll probably like since they're shorter, of sort of autobiographical but musically about my life within San Francisco and the music scene and just the music I've loved. Not an ego thing, but just my experiences, because people seem to like the stories. Anyway, let's get into the video. First of all, I'm the generation of the San Francisco Giants: Willie Mays, Willie McCovey, Matty Lou, Philippe Lou, Tom Haller, Jim Davenport, Juan Marichal. Those are the San Francisco Giants. However, in 2010, 2012, 2014, they won 3 World Series championships. So this collection that I've been playing is this collection, a great Rhino set that came out some years ago, and it's based on the Nugget series, but it's a San Francisco scene, sort of garage, psychedelic, 1965 to 1970. It's called Love Is the Song We Sing, San Francisco Nuggets, 1965 to 1970. So just thought I'd play that a little bit in the background just for a second there as the opening. Okay, contest is very easy. And here's the deal. It's themed on San Francisco, and I'm going to work backwards. The deadline is September 15th, so you have about a month and a half, a little less than that. September 15th. It has to be a video entry, and you have to be a subscriber. Now, I have a lot of regulars that don't make videos, and I love you all. I don't love you all because I don't know you all, but I appreciate you all watching and commenting. And there are a handful of regulars that comment. I know you don't make videos for one reason or another, and I totally understand. So, but you can make a video without showing your face. For instance, Mr. Finglish out of Finland, if you know his videos, he doesn't show his face. And someone who has been a real champion early on to me is B-Side Records Beth, who never shows her face, does great overview of soundtracks and horror films. And I feel kind of honored because, well, I won, my first contest I won was her colors contest. And she actually did a whack-a-mole for my whack-a-mole contest submission, and she showed herself. I don't know if that's the only time, but I was literally touched by that. So thank you, Beth, if you're watching this. But so September 15th, there's 4 options of things you need to show, and you only have to show one. But here's the other kicker. It has to be 5 minutes it has to be between 4 minutes, 30 seconds and 5 minutes, not a second over. So I think it was John from Digital Gramophone who had a 3-minute thing. And if it went over, you're out of here, like baseball, out of here. You know, those umpires, safe. I'm not a big sports fan anymore, so, you know. Anyway, here's the deal. So one of these three options, okay? Show a record from a band or artist out of San Francisco. Good example, obviously, this is the very first debut on Warner Brothers of Grateful Dead. San Francisco band from the summer love period 1967 on Warner Brothers. Easy peasy, right? Or it could be an artist recorded live or recorded in San Francisco, like this great Thelonious Monk album, Alone in San Francisco, solo piano by Thelonious Monk. Bonus points, because there's a cable car on the cover. Bonus points don't do any good, but there's something in the vinyl community. There's a bonus question. Why does it have to be a fucking bonus question? Add another question, right? But I'm gonna have a bonus question at the end, but it won't do you any good unless you want to be an overachiever, you know, like that girl in the first row that's always raising her hand in grammar school. Second, show a movie filmed in San Francisco or about San Francisco. This is a fantastic book. There's a series of these books, and it's called World Film Locations San Francisco. And of course, I'm giving away, and I'll show that as an example. Dirty Harry, the debut Dirty Harry film, loosely based on the Zodiac. The Zodiac's another film, you know, a film about San Francisco. Here's one more that I showed recently in another video I did, Dark Passage. Great film with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. He escapes from San Quentin, comes over the Golden Gate Bridge, and anyway, cool film. Filmed in Telegraph Hill and around other parts of San Francisco. Now, San Francisco can be the greater Bay Area. For instance, Creedence Clearwater's from El Cerrito. El Cerrito is in the East Bay across from San Francisco, but it doesn't have to be right in the city. So here's two examples, cinematic. San Francisco, a lot of great films, when you start thinking about it, have been filmed in San Francisco. Could be a director from San Francisco. There are some, I'm not gonna mention any names. If you're sipping a cappuccino while you're making this video, that's bonus points. What do bonus points get you? Absolutely nothing. It get you jacked up a little bit. The third option are books about San Francisco or written by authors from San Francisco. Two examples, Lawrence Ferlinghetti, the great beat poet, owner of City Lights Books, although it's part of a collective now. It's a must visit when you go to San Francisco in North Beach. The great beat poet bookstore. This is the 60th anniversary edition of the City Lights Pocket Poets Anthology, great anthology of poetry that City Lights put out. Great publisher. They've done works of Allen Ginsberg, of Sam Shepard, even Van Morrison. So, book about San Francisco. Here's another one, Music in the Air, the selected writings of Ralph J. Gleason. I showed this before as well. Ralph J. Gleason was an amazing jazz writer originally for the San Francisco Chronicle in the 50s into the 60s. He had a television show on PBS on KQED, the local affiliate, that was all these amazing jazz artists. It's in black and white. You can see a lot of those things on YouTube. He's interviewed. Then in the 60s, he really championed the whole San Francisco ballroom scene with the Airplane, the Grateful Dead, and Big Brother, and all those great bands. Essays from his articles over the years. He's also co-founder with Jan Wenner of Rolling Stone magazine. Started in San Francisco, and originally their offices were at 625 3rd Street in the South of Market area. So Ralph J. Gleason is that. So it could be a novel, people like Dashiell Hammett, Jacqueline Susan, you know, romance novels. She lives in a big mansion in San Francisco. I don't need to tell you anymore. You know, you're smart enough. You can come up with something. So you see where I'm going here. So you can just pick one of these. And lastly, an option would be artwork. So artists, San Francisco art. At the end of this, I'm going to show a little outro. I collect San Francisco handbills from the Fillmore, Avalon, the psychedelic posters by artists like Anton Kelly, Mouse, Wes Wilson. I love this kind of artwork. can be painters, sculptors, photographers. Jim Marshall wrote this. He died about 10 years ago. He was a photographer, mostly rock and roll and jazz. Did amazing covers for Coltrane and Woodstock cover. Photographed the Beatles' final concert. This is a book posthumously came out of Hate, and it has a lot of the San Francisco groups of Janis Joplin and Grace Slick and the Dead and the Airplane and just the scene in the Haight-Ashbury. And I was born on the very tip of the Haight, just on overlooking Standing Street, Golden Gate Park. And so you could do a book of photography or photographers, so any kind of book. Now, the bonus is if in that entire 4.5 to 5 minutes, you do all four. You show a record, you show a movie, you show a book, and you show some artwork or an artist monograph of their work. Now, what do you get? If you get bonus, you don't get anything extra. You just get like a thumbs up from me, okay? So, and a heart. And you get the satisfaction that you created something and you were able to think out of the box and just not belabor the point and just be succinct. And the other bonus thing you could throw in is a little extra thing. Tell something about like a historic fact about San Francisco or a place in San Francisco that you really are interested in, the Haight-Ashbury. The 1906 earthquake on April 18th. The earth shook, the sky burned. The 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. I was at Candlestick Park right when that happened, when the Giants were playing the A's in the World Series. The Zodiac murders. That's sort of the dark side of San Francisco. There's a lot of great things. So anyway, I'm a city boy, as you probably know if you watch this. I love what cities have to offer. In a way, I left my heart in San Francisco, and San Francisco also broke my heart because a lot of these cities like San Francisco and New York and London and parts of Los Angeles and certain areas are just gotten too expensive for artists, musicians, writers, and just the middle class. So I won't belabor that point anymore, but you got the gist of this. September 15th, hashtag, right in there, also hashtag Mazzy San Francisco. Mazzy San Francisco. M-A-Z-Z-Y San Francisco. Mazzy San Francisco. And please post on this video that you actually made a video and it's live, because they get lost. You don't see everything. And again, you have to be a subscriber. So I appreciate new subscribers. Maybe you'll be the 3,000th subscriber. Now, there's a bonus if you are, and I can figure out if you are the 3,000th subscriber, there's a bonus point. So thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your week and month, and see you in September.
If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair. If you're going to San Francisco, Francisco.